It's time for the Real Estate Top Performers. This segment is sponsored by the Mortgage Link and Eastern Title and Settlement. This week, we are talking to Dylan Lee from the Coalition Properties Group of Keller Williams Capital Properties. He explains how successful buyers are touring properties in today's market. Dylan, welcome to Great Day Washington. As people are still looking for properties to buy, new homes to get, what are you seeing for people as they are trying to manage all this in the pandemic, but still tour places they're interested in buying?
Right. Thanks for having me on this morning. So the three big things that a successful buyer will, the characteristics that they want to have, right? Communication, preparation, and speed. And here's why those three things are so important. The first one being preparation, right? So before we go out looking at properties, we want to make sure that the property, one, fits within the budget, okay? Two, the location is actually, good for you, all right? And then, so when we go out there, the only thing we're really concerned about is suitability, all right? Now, when I spoke about communication is super important because myself as the buyer's agent, I'll be talking with the listing agent, the lender, the buyer, make sure that everyone is on the same page. And speed, you've probably seen the news, properties are being listed on Wednesday, by Friday, they're off the market.
Right.
All right, so it's super important for a buyer out there to be able to act quickly and decisively.
I always wonder this because we looked at like 40 places before we bought our home. How many places do people typically look at before they place and make that offer?
Right. So when we prep our clients and get them ready to go out to look at properties, on average, my clients are seeing between 4 to 6 properties before they submit that first offer.
That's so much more manageable. I love that. Is there a way to make an offer when you can't pay all cash, or maybe if you're going in below what the asking price is, can you still get a property like that?
No, you absolutely can. It's funny you bring that up. I just had a closing last week where that was the exact situation. So a lot of it actually comes down to what the seller wants. And I talked about before about communication. It's so important as the buyer's agent. Once I know that my client wants to put an offer on a house, I'm calling that listing agent. I'm asking, hey, what can we do to make this as appealing to your client as possible? What are some things that they're looking for? The client I just referenced, we actually put an offer in $10,000 below the original sales price.
Wow. And
because of the way we actually structured that offer, the seller canceled the open house that was scheduled for that weekend. All right. And on top of that, once that appraisal came back, my client got $5,000 in instant equity. So we got the house below asking price and he got instant equity. It was fantastic.
Wow, that is incredible. Is there something like that, I guess, when you're putting together the offer, are there other things other than the sales price that are just as important to make sure something like that happens for you?
Right, yeah. So, it could be that the seller needs a rent back, okay? Or perhaps the seller actually needs to look for a home before they're able to sell this home, okay? So each situation is going to be very unique. And that's why communication with the listing agent is imperative right off the jump, because I want to figure out what we can do to make our offer as compelling as possible.
And I know you mentioned at the beginning communication is key and being quick about it. What about for the buyer's lender? Do they need to have a quick response time here?
Absolutely, yeah. And once I get wind that my client wants to put an offer in on a house, oftentimes I've already sent those properties to the lender, and they need to send us documents essentially ASAP. It might sound like it's asking a lot of the lender, but fortunately for us, preferred lenders that we work with are quick, responsive, and really that can make or break whether you get a house as a buyer.
Dylan, there are so many little things that go into this. You can tell you have the expertise to navigate people. Thank you again for joining us today for Great Day Washington.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and have a great day.
And you can call 833-MTG-LINK for home financing, and you can also follow the Real Estate Top Performers on YouTube. Coming